There's this thing that happens inside big restaurants groups most of us never notice. You walk into a Burger King in Madrid or Sao Paulo or Manila and it feels like the brand is thriving. And then you hit a Popeyes at home and something feels off. Traffic is slower, buzz is quieter, and the magic isn't quite landing. And the earnings, you can see that split in neon. What if the future of Burger King isn't being decided in the US at all, but overseas, one franchise at a time? What if the Popeye slump isn't a fried chicken problem, but a leadership and messaging problem? Something a new operator and new marketer think that they can fix? And what if the most important move in fast food this quarter wasn't a new sandwich, but a reshuffle of who's in charge in the turnaround? Welcome to Business Insights Daily. I'm your host, Sashank. Today, we're digging into Restaurants Brands International, RBI, the parent company of Burger King, Popeyes, Tim Hortons, and Firehouse Subs, and why its latest results tell two very different stories. The headline Beat. RBI exceeded revenue expectations in the quarter ending December 31st, and companies wide same store sales rose 3.1%. The engine of that growth was international performance outside the US and Canada. Same store sales grew 6.1%, and Burger King, specifically its international restaurants, did much of the heavy lifting, with international Burger King same store sales at 5.8% up. We are at RBI. This is the dream. It's a validation of a strategy you've been leaning on for years and expanding globally. Let franchises carry a lot of the unit economics and use scale to keep the machine moving, even when the US consumer gets choppy. So, from 30,000 feet, it looks like a solid quarter. But when you zoom in on Popeyes, the laggard, and worse than expected. Popeyes' same store sales declined 4.8% in the first quarter, steeper than analysts expected. And it's not like Popeyes is a forgettable brand. This is a chain with strong product equity. People love Popeyes when the experience and the message is hit right. So why does this matter to RBI so much? Well, because in a portfolio company, the big brand stumbling down doesn't just lower sales, it creates a distraction tax. Franchisees get nervous, marketing gets reactive, and innovation becomes a scattershot. Leadership ends up spending time defending instead of building. And RBI's response is telling. It's not announcing a new menu platform first, it's changing the people running the play. The turnaround bet, new leadership, new marketing. To revive the brand, RBI appointed Peter Purdue, Burger King veteran, to oversee Popeye's US and Canada business, and named Mark Rubin as the new chief marketing officer for Popeyes in the US. Purdue isn't just a random outside hire. He's a long-time RBI executive who's most recently served as the COO of Burger King US and Canada operations and was involved in Burger King's Reclaim the Flame operation standard. Rubin, meanwhile, has deep Popeyes experience and has recently served as the brand's chief digital officer, with prior roles across marketing analytics and international marketing inside RBI. This pairing is fascinating because it suggests RBI thinks Popeyes doesn't need a brand new identity. It needs two things: operational consistency, it's the Purdue hire, and sharper positioning and customer engagement across channels. That's Rubin. In other words, fix the basics and tell the story better. Here's a pattern you see in almost every iconic brand story. The brand becomes famous for a few core truths: what it tastes like, what it stands for, or what kind of promise it makes to the customer. And the success creates pressure. Everyone wants growth, everyone wants new customers, and everyone wants headlines. Slowly, the brand drifts. Then RBI's own executives have acknowledged in past commentary that novelty items can generate a buzz, but don't always produce sustained same store sales growth, and that the company wants to recenter on core platforms and consistent value messaging. That line matters because it hints at what Popeyes may do next. Fewer stunts, more repeatable reasons to visit. And if you've ever watched a brand revival happen in real time, it's rarely about a single big campaign. It's about hundreds of small decisions made consistency. Speed of service, order accuracy, promo clarity, and digital ordering that doesn't frustrate people, and an offer that feels like a reason to come back next week. That's not glamorous, but that's how turnarounds actually work. So, what to watch for in the next few quarters? International Burger King momentum. RBI's numbers show overseas performance as a major growth driver, with international comps outpacing the total company. That continues, RBI's growth story stays intact even if the US remains uneven. Popeye's revival signals. Look for a simple value messaging, tighter marketing, and operational improvements under review, with Ruben shaping a clearer brand promise across digital and in-store channels. And franchisee confidence. In the franchise system, the real leading indicator isn't just same-store sales, it's whether franchisees keep investing in remodels, marketing, and new units when momentum wobbles. Pertu's background, operations, and franchising is a clue RBI is thinking about. And stepping back, this quarter also reminds of something bigger than fast food right now. Even great plans can't outrun execution, not for long. Restaurant brands had a good quarter, driven by international strength, especially at Burger King. And Popeye's sell drop is a kind that forces a company to make decisions. Not next year, not after a strategy retreat, but now. An RBS choice, put a Burger King operator in charge and a Popeye's digital veteran at the marketing helm, tells us that they think the fix isn't mysterious. It's discipline. It's back to fundamentals, and it's getting the story and experience to line up again. Thank you for listening to Business Insights Daily. I'm your host, Shank, and I'll see you next time.